Салют, Шейл в эфире, мы в Белграде. Сегодня наступил долгожданный первый игровой день турнира FISSURE Playground, который совмещает в себе Тир-1 Доту и самое настоящее киберспортивное шоу. Ведь совсем скоро, а именно 31 января, к нам нахлынет огромная толпа зрителей. Вместе с ними мы будем кайфовать от Доты на сцене. К слову, билеты до сих пор доступны, они есть в продаже, успейте купить. Ну что, друзья, со мной сегодня Фервин, наш лучший аналитик. Какой матч тебя удивил больше всего?
Ну, меня удивило то, что Тундра проиграла Yakult Brothers. Они не очень сильно были готовы к драфтам Якультов и их темпу.
К поражению гладиаторов привыкли, как у этого состава новоиспеченного не пошло. Видеть там поражение Falcons, вот такие апсеты, это довольно странно.
Против Falcons все играют, скримы пишут ГГ очень рано, а тут официальная игра, и люди играют до конца, и они просто не додавили своим драфтом.
Вот что-то интересное по пикам ты для себя заметил? Может, кто-то для тебя вот что-то новое открыл?
Бристолбек играл с билдом, это команда очень интересный билд сделала через Баттерфляй и брошку. Вот это вот хорошая задумка. И сейчас мне понравилось то, что Талоны взяли Нагу в Ликана.
Было желание за кого-то притопить? Может быть, какой-то команды ты как фаворита выделял?
Не знаю, я за Талон хочу притопить точно.
А почему за Талон, кстати?
Тройка заряженный молодой игрок, а мидер просто, я считаю, самый хайскильный игрок, топ-3 мидеров в нет.
Какой бы команде ты доверился вот из всех?
Ну, Спирит можно довериться точно. Спирит и можно Фалькону дать авансом, то, что не разгонится.
Как тебе возвращение Ятора? То есть в прайме, он сейчас не в прайме.
И Ятора, я считаю, в хорошей форме, даже лучше сатаника. У него больше опыта, и в критических ситуациях он не ошибается, как сатаник.
Первые 16 матчей подошли к концу, и результаты некоторых серий тронули меня до глубины души. У нас есть отличная возможность поговорить с игроками прямо по окончанию матчей, поэтому давайте их послушаем.
I'm quite surprised because when we played scrims, I think we lost like 95% of our games. So coming into this tournament, I don't think we expected to play so well in the first two games, but I think we're playing quite well, and I'm very happy with our performance so far.
Оцениваю на 6,5 из 10.
Да, думаю, довольны. От следующего дня жду более интересных игр. Хотелось бы сыграть, наверное, против какой-то команды из Европы.
Они на самом деле неплохо играли. Мы даже немного были удивлены. Думали, они хуже играют. А мы просто уже потом по игре, как на скеле, камбэкнули по мапе и выиграли.
Лина, она вбивала за секунду.
Да просто Эдгар сказал, год тут на Морфе, он очень давно не играл, мы давно очень не тренировались с этим героем, он здесь хорошо зашел, мы сыграли.
Я с Даньком играл почти всю свою карьеру, мы знаем понимание доты друг друга, знаем, как мы играем, поэтому для меня все привычно, как и раньше.
To be honest, I kind of felt like we would always win if we don't throw the game, because like an Ags on Tiny is kind of imba combo from like TI-10, and unless you have like Collapse Magnus, you're not going to win against it, so I felt confident.
Если бы я не верил в него и не был бы доволен, я бы не играл с ним в команде. А так, думаю, Алан это молодой игрок, который на пути своего восстановления, он будет с каждой игрой играть лучше и лучше.
Кто вылетит? Ну, я даже не видел сид, кто там у кого 0-2, поэтому не знаю. Но там плюс-минус понятно, какие команды.
Вот таким получился первый игровой день на FISSURE Playground. Совсем скоро нас ждет еще 16 таких же огненных и горячих матчей, по итогам которых две команды покинут турнир и отправятся домой. Поэтому приходите завтра, смотрите нашу трансляцию, 2 параллельных канала. Обещаю, серии будут просто крутейшими. Ну и также напоминаю о том, что билеты все еще есть в продаже, поэтому успейте их купить.
Welcome back, everybody, to the beautiful Belgrade, Serbia. You are once again joining us on the official broadcast for the FISSURE Playground 1 Dota tournament, brought to you by FISSURE. I am BCOP, joined here by Lacoste, ready to take you through day number 2. And on to some good matchups here for some Dota, because it's been a fun, jam-packed day 1, jam-packed day 2.
There was a lot of good Dota on day 1. We had a lot of upsets in the first couple of matches as well, and this is what I want to see. You have certain expectations, what's going to happen at day 1. You know, all these big dogs are going to take the dubs, but it is not like that, and that's what I like to see.
And we got our participants up on the screen for you. The closed qualifier winners from SEA, it was Talon. From the Americas, it was Wildcard. Then you've got Avuas from the Western Europe MENA region, Chimera for Eastern Europe, and then Yakult for China. And then, of course, the rest of the invited teams. BB team, you've got Paravision, you've got Falcons, Liquid, Spirit, Extreme, Gaming, Tundra, Aurora, Shopify, and Heroic. That's really a test of logos right there. I was getting a little nervous getting through. I know yesterday I stumbled on one. I was nervous going through all those. There's no writing for any of the teams except for Yakult. It's just gotta really get through it. But we're in a Swiss stage format. We did a lot of matches yesterday. We did the 0-0 matchups, and then we did the 1-0s and the 0-1s. So we've got teams that are sitting here at 0-2. We've got teams sitting here at 2-0 and 1-1, and they're all fighting for the $1 million prize pool. And this is how it's spread out. You've got $400,000 for first place, $170,000 for second place, $100,000 for third place, and then as you get further down the line, of course, it gets a little bit lower, all the way down to 15th, 16th, where you take home just $5,000. But if you come, you're playing, you're winning money no matter what. And, well, this is the results we've got so far. You can see the first results at this stage of 0-0, and then the winners and losers of those, they all played. And then now what you're set up to is about halfway down that Swiss stage bracket, where you've got BB Team against Liquid, Heroic and Spirit going up against each other for promotion to the playoffs at 2-0. The 1-1 teams, they'll play BO1s. It's going to be Talon, Tundra, Aurora Gaming, Yakult, Paravision, Falcons, and Wildcard. And then the 0-2 teams, they're playing BO3s. They're trying not to get eliminated, get to the next stage at 1 and 2, but it's Extreme and Chimera, and then Shopify, as well as Avulis up there. So it is going to be an interesting bracket and an interesting day at Dota, because we got a lot coming your way, as it's, like I said, another jam-packed day at Dota.
Yeah, a lot of good matchups that we're going to be seeing today, and this is going to be the schedule.
As the secondary stream. So this is on twitch.tv/fissure_Dota_EN2. That's Yakult's Brothers against Paravision. Then after that, following is going to be Team Falcons Wildcard. Following that is Extreme against Chimera, and then Shopify against Avulis for you on that stream. So a day of games that looks exciting. And then for us here on the main stream, which you know the link to, you're already here, you're watching us, and you're here to stay. So you got Talon against Tundra, the Battle of the T's, and then following that is Aurora Gaming against Gaming Gladiators. And then you've got the BO3s that start afterwards, which is BB Team against Team Liquid and Heroic Team Spirit.
Yeah, the big one is definitely BetBoom Team against Team Liquid. A lot of history between these two teams, and these teams did look really good in the last couple of months as well. So this is going to be, I'd say, the most interesting matchup. Even though Heroic and Team Spirit, these teams, I'm talking about the BO3s, because these are the ones that are going to be advancing to the to the top 8 of the tournament. So yeah, a lot of interesting matchups, but this is the one that I'm looking most forward to.
Yeah, the BO3s are going to be interesting. Probably different strategy when it comes down to drafts, because you're not just, you know, we saw broods happen yesterday. We saw a couple of cheese picks here and there. Not as many as maybe I would have thought with BO1s going the way it did, but now you got BO3s, a little bit more strategic. Well, that's kind of the basic way of saying that there's more games to be played in a series, but here we are. So it should be fun, that second half of the day, 2 BO3s, but we're starting it off with the BO1s.
BO1s are always interesting to watch, because you know that it matters so much, so you need to be able to bring your best strategy straight away. And we saw some of the upsets yesterday. Like, there were a couple of big ones. I would say GG losing against Talon, and then you also had Extreme Gaming losing to Wildcard, plus we also had Tundra losing to Yakult's Brothers. So a lot of big upsets coming your way as well. I think today we might see the same thing, especially in the BO1s.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see if there's going to be any more upsets. I think yesterday, I don't know how many people would have predicted that day, straight up. I think Falcons lost their first game as well, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of games where people were so sure that teams were going to win, and then they didn't.
Just didn't.
Then they just didn't, yeah. I mean, so I'm saying it simply, but yeah, it was just a lot of, I don't think overperforming, but seeing the best of what teams have to offer very early on in the tournament, which is how you have to start. So it is very, very important for teams to continue that way, and we've got ourselves intros for the teams. Let's see Talon Esports. We saw Talon yesterday to start the day off. They were playing Gaming Gladiators in that first matchup. That was a close matchup, something that we saw via the odds and what we saw with recent performances that was going to be quite close in terms of those teams taking on each other. And they came out ahead over Gaming Gladiators, and then they ended up going 1-1, which is why they're playing a BO1 today. No chance in this match right now to get promoted or eliminated, but very important. You don't want to be on the edge, on your heels of getting eliminated and going into those BO3 eliminations.
Yeah, I think this team kind of went under the radar for most of the people, how good they actually are. Because this is the team that on a good day can pretty much beat any of the teams here. And I think that even though they're 1-1 right now, I feel like they are going to be securing themselves top 8. This team is looking really good.
Yeah, they look really good, and then they're going up against Tundra, which is going to be a tough matchup for them as well. I mean, Tundra, they're, you know, they really didn't show up in the first matchup, but they're getting back to form. We'll see if they could stay there, but let's introduce them before we start talking about them. So Tundra Esports, they come in 1-1, of course, going up against Talon, and they lost to Yakult yesterday, and that was a bit of maybe a misstep for them. A team that many see to be the strongest or one of the strongest teams coming into this tournament, and it immediately starts with a bit of a trip and fall, and they got to get back up.
This is also a team that can bounce back quickly, and that's what you want to see. This is the team that understands what they did wrong and then can quickly adapt.
Right.
Mistakes that they were making in game number 1, none of that was made in game 2 when they were playing against Shopify Rebellion. They got raffle stomped in this first game. It was pretty painful when they were playing against the Yakult's brothers. There was literally nothing they could have done. They killed Ame like 5 or 6 times, but other than that, it was just nothing they could have done.
So we compare the two teams, and we got our win rates for both teams. Tundra, a little bit of a higher win rate. Both these rosters, in terms of the 5-man completed stack, is semi-new.
Yeah.
One just over a month old and one just under a month old. Average game duration is pretty similar, but look at the difference here. I know it's only a 4% difference in win rate, but that is also in 30 more matches. That is so many more games.
Yeah, Tundra just played a lot more. I mean, this team is also... Like, I just got to say that... 33 wants to be the biggest Giga Chat in Dota,
right?
Like, and he might actually succeed with the squad that he kind of surrounded himself with, because he left the TI winning team. That doesn't happen. We saw some kicks that did happen after TI, but this guy just voluntarily decided, even though the squad was working so well, that he wants to make his own team and win a 3rd TI with the team that he just assembled around him.
Yeah, that was a mutual parting of ways, and I'm kind of wondering, do you buy yourself the pizza when you mutually leave a team? Like, do you order it yourself?
I think they split it 50-50.
Yeah. You pay for the delivery, I'll pay for the pizza. And then they...
Delivery nowadays are more expensive than the actual food.
Depending on where you are, that is definitely the truth. And, you know, we see the teams on our screen. We've got Dyrachio here, star of the CIS region. He has more social media followers than the entire Team Spirit roster combined. Anton boasts over 274,000 followers, while the, quote, Dragons collectively had around 206,000. That's a lot higher than my 5,000.
These are rookie numbers, but yeah, Dyrachio is very popular because of his playstyle. I think he has a bit of an aura around himself that he attracts, like viewership. He attracts viewers to comment what he's doing because he's always going to be that X factor in the team.
I'm wondering if that, like, because there's what? Social media following like that, and then I know some regions are like more into Facebook following, and then some are Telegram, and some are Do You, and all these other...
It's easy to twist the numbers.
Yeah. I'm trying to give some people the benefit of the doubt here, and, you know, maybe go follow if you want. But we've got our votes in chat. If you're so confident that you could beat the two of us in terms of who you're predicting, it's !1 for Talon, !2 for Tundra. I will say you probably have a good chance. Me and Lacoste got 1 of 4 right yesterday, each.
Yeah, I was looking at the other matchups and other games that I did not cast, and I'm like, this is gonna be super easy, and I got everything correctly.
Yeah,
just
when
the
it
ones
didn't
that
matter.
I'm casting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to get it right. But yeah, we'll give you guys the total numbers on those votes a little bit later on in the program. And then we take a look at the coin flip. We've got the winning coin flip here for Talon Esports. They chose the second pick, and then Tundra's going to take the Radiant side. You said, and it's been correct so far, obviously we're going into day 2 with this, every team that's given the opportunity to do so, Radiant.
It's better. It's just straight up better. There's nothing to discuss about Radiant anymore. It's been said so many times. The map didn't change in a really long time, so people are still going to be choosing Radiant when they don't have the priority, and there are teams that do. Like, it's still a small sample size, but in the next few days, we're going to see the numbers as well. Who prefers to have the first pick, second pick, and who has the bigger or the higher win rate. And we are into the ban stage, removing Sniper immediately. This is something that they play really well from the mid lane. Some really bad matchups that Sniper can really win. And we saw Mikoto yesterday, one of the finest mid laners that Southeast Asia can offer, completely dumpstering that matchup. He was playing Lina into Queen of Pain when they were playing against Gaiman, and this was one of the biggest beatdowns I've seen in the mid lane in a really long time.
Yeah, it was really crazy. The difference in numbers, the difference in experience. I think it was like level 8 when Quinn was just hitting level 6.
Yeah.
It was really far ahead, and now you've got Bristleback getting the first pick here for Tundra Esports, and we've seen a lot of Bristle. We've seen different choices on the facets and a little bit of a different build here and there. It's pretty standard for the most part, I would say.
It is. This is going to be 33 playing Bristleback, so I expect him to go for Seeing Red facet. He loves the carry from the off lane, and you can see already how they are making adjustments after losing against Yakult's brothers. They were playing against Shopify Rebellion, and they had a completely different draft, 5 different heroes, and they seem to think that this is working first pick Bristleback, something that they did against Shopify Rebellion, and it worked out amazingly. They were able to close out the games in game in less than 30 minutes.
There's that one-piece playmat and the super light mouse. I have that in pink, actually. I like that mouse. Very light, very...
That's why it's called Super Light, yeah.
very convenient. Could you guess who it is just by the hands?
Just by the hands holding the papers. It is...
You gotta be quick.
Okay, never mind.
Disappointed. Anyway, Terrorblade first pick here for Talon, and not...
10 seconds remaining.
Or Hero... Do we see a Terrorblade first pick yesterday?
5 seconds remaining.
Not that I remember, but when they were playing a week ago, they also did open up with the first pick Terrorblade, and they played it from the off lane.
This hero's insane in the off lane. Like, Demon Zeal early on, having that farm, like, this is a hero that farms like crazy. Like, Demon Zeal adds so much.
It does. It's also a high armor hero, and it's been used frequently as the offlaner. I would say that was like 2 months ago when the Shadow Fiend, when Lunas were super popular until they got nerfed as a counter to the carries, because there's not much you can do. You need to have some kind of a dispel mechanic.
Right.
But nowadays, we don't see it as much, but they seem to think that it's still going to work out for them. Because, I mean, they can still play this as a carry in the lane as a counter to Bristleback with that high armor. You get the stick, you get some, like, bracers, so you're not going to be dying to Bristleback. And they can also pair it up with the Clockwork. We saw Clockwork yesterday when Yakult's brothers were playing, how effective it is. This was something that Tundra was actually using in the lane to grab some kills, paired up with the Visage. But I think this Terrorblade just might be played from the off lane and get a different carry.
It will be interesting to see the Terrorblade in the offlane. I think I saw it in the Wallachia closed qualifiers. It was like pipe into shard, and then you kind of just chose what you really wanted to be from that point on in terms of, do you want more than the pipe? Obviously, pipe's situational if you wanted that to begin with, but do you want to be outputting more damage? Do you want to be just the aura guy, but you still farm ridiculously fast? So you really can do whatever you want. And now they go to the Magnus. We've talked about this Magnus a little bit. You know, yet to be seen if it's going to be safe lane mag or mid mag. You definitely have options, and they'll follow that up with the Lich that you want to see pretty often.
This hero had an insane win rate. After day 1, he has won 6 out of 7 games.
Oof.
Yeah, I thought this year was going to be much more contested, but yeah, maybe they won. People still figuring out what's going to be strong. Great against Terrorblade, of course, with the Frost Shield. You have magic damage to kill him. There are illusions around him, so there's always going to be something to bounce off. And you also have Magnus, which they do like to play from position 4. Saxa, I would say one of the better ones, if not one of the best position 4 Magnuses out there. And they are already showing their hand now. Clockwork Plus, Morphling, Morph TB. What a time to be alive, 2025. They're in the same team, but I don't see any, again, another high armor hero, so they will need some kind of magical damage to get that burst damage, and they also have no control whatsoever. So I think it's going to be a really good puck game potentially coming out for Tundra, because there is no control on both sides.
Yeah, what you're working with right now is like, what, hook shot, adaptive
That's
strike?
it. Yeah, you don't care about those abilities.
Yeah, you really, you don't, yeah, exactly. You need definitely another stun. Truthfully, I like this combination. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see now for Tundra, because that's been the combo a little bit, is the Muerta with the Lich. That Sinister Gaze into the dead shot with the calling. If you want that, maybe you get a Rod of Atos as well. Offers you a little bit more control as a support duo. And then Muertas, they can build more
Tundra Esports
damage support if they want, but then they go Pugna. So again, you're lacking lockdown.
Yeah, which is what we call lackdown. You just don't have enough, I would say, when it comes down to controlling them. So both teams are going to be looking to get that from the mid lane. Pugna, great against Bristleback as well. You use the Cripify against physical damage. Magnus as well, if he's going to be played from some core role, if it's going to be played from position 1, he's mostly physical, has some magical as well on top of that. But yeah, Lich doesn't like to play into neither Clockwork or Pugna, so I don't think this is going to be that good of a Lich game.
Clockwork can be very annoying, especially early Windlace or early Windlace and Boots, where you're just able to make sure that you're on top of somebody with Battery Assault and the Cogs. Cogs always a bit of a pain to deal with. And are you putting the Pugna here with the Morphling and the Clock with the Terrorblade, and then just going like Battery Assault, Cogs with Metamorphosis?
They're flexible, so they will decide in the end, but most likely this is going to be Clockwork paired up with,
Tundra Esports.
I would say, Terrorblade.
Storm.
Yeah, it's the same concept, as I said, with Puck.
Yeah.
There is literally no control on the other side. So for Talon, Mikoto will need to find a hero to deal with Storm. So ban Puck and ban one more hero.
And this edges more towards what you were thinking, where Magnus, now, he can be a core if they wanted to go to the support, but maybe you're showing a little bit of edging more towards Magnus support with the way you've just picked up Storm, right?
Yeah, most likely. They're going to be looking for Duracio's hero last and Mikoto hero for Talon. Mikoto has been...
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, if they want to have some kind of an instant lockdown, something that's going to give them slightly more team fight, I'm fine with them picking up Earthshaker maybe from the mid lane, because you have the instant jump against the Storm. Could be potentially even good game for some Monkey King, but it's not like the guy that builds into silence, so he will need to itemize differently. And I like this ban a lot. This Muerta, I think this Muerta would be played as a carry, considering how good of a matchup it is. This would have been one of the best Muerta games ever. You're playing against Pugna, so you can hit units that are decrypified, and you'll also deal magic damage against both Terrorblade and Morphling.
Yeah, initially when I talked about it, I was definitely thinking more support, but you have a great point with it potentially of being the carry. So they also banned that Ricky, wanting to get rid of a couple of silences here. They get rid of the calling, they get rid of smoke cloud. So is that kind of hinting at what they really want to be protected from? Do you maybe think about that if you're Tundra and find something with a little bit more silence there for you for the side of Tundra if it's available?
Tundra Esports.
These are just the heroes that could potentially ruin their whole lineup, because you have these silences.
Slark.
It's again a free Slark game. Like there's nothing that
there's no control.
There's no AoE damage that he is afraid of. I think
locked
they're in
up
a lot of
really
trouble.
well.
I said Earthshaker, and I still feel like this should be the best pick because you need something to control this Slark. There's also maybe a possibility for them to pick up some mid Leshrac that buys into relatively early Yule Scepter, so you have some kind of a setup for your own stun against the Storm Spirit, and it's also a good way to deal with the Slark. I know the hero is not the most popular. I don't think I've even seen him other than some position 4. But they need something. Right now, they are in a lot of trouble. A lot of the times you would see team have the last pick and have a little bit of a gotcha pick, but they also have more than a minute to think about what this is going to be.
Yeah, they've got a lot of time, but I am really worried because there's a lot that sets up Pounce. It almost feels guaranteed. Vortex, you're going to pull them Pounce, or Sinister Gaze, you pull them Pounce. And now they go to the Monkey King, which is a mobile hero, gives you Boundless Strike. But again, it's not really a stun you're too worried about.
Yeah, it's one of the options that I did suggest. It's not like I'm also looking at the itemization. I think this time around, this Terrorblade from the offlane will need to build into some like relatively early Orchid. I'm fine with Pipe into Orchid because you need control. Like there's nothing to control this Slark. There's nothing to really control the Storm Spirit other than Boundless Strike and some Clockwork going in. And I don't think that's enough. So looking at both of these drafts, I think Tundra did outpick them. They put a lot of pressure onto them during the draft, especially once they picked up the Storm Spirit in the last phase, and they also removed the Puck, removed the Lina as well. These are some of the better Mikoto's heroes, and they also used first ban on Sniper because he also loves to play it. So some of these matchups are going to work out differently than what they probably expected them to happen in this game. So yeah, I really like Tundra's draft.
Yeah, I really like that draft as well. I am looking to maybe think about... I'm going to go with Tundra. I agree with chat. They're 53% in favor of Tundra. They've got 4 points already. I got to catch up to that or figure it out, but I'm going Tundra.
Chat has 4 points, man. These guys are smart. Look at us, 4 points. We have combined 2 points. I'm going to go with Tundra as well because this team is on the rise again after having bad game. The first game that they played yesterday, it didn't look too good against the Colts brothers, but they are stepping it up, and I think they have a really mean draft in this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we'll be getting into game number 1 in just a moment. It's going to be Talon against Tundra. Should be fun, as I always say, because it's exciting. It's Dota. Everything's always different every game. And I'm really worried, though, for Talon. The lack of lockdown concerns me. I think especially if we see another Lich that's level 6 at 6 minutes, that might be devastating because that was a Lich game for
BetBoom.
Yeah. That was a Lich game for the decade, I was going to say.
Pretty much. It doesn't get better than this, but yeah, there's still, of course, chance for them to win the game, but it's not going to be as easy. I think they need to be able to win the lanes and try to snowball from there. Monkey King is going to be the X factor for me. He needs to be able to get some kills, maybe get a kill with the rotation before Storm gets level 6, and we can see some of the fastest that they did pick up, seeing Red on Bristleback, so he wants to carry Frostbound on Lich, so Chain Frost does linger, reverse polarity, pretty normal stuff.
Still not reverse polarity.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
Except for that one game.
Where it's gonna look bad, and it's gonna end up on Reddit. And the player who played it will get a pizza party.
Oh, maybe. I don't know about that. At least it would be some decent pizza to end the day on. Anyway, coming into the bounties, let's see who picks up what. And of course, we were talking about the offlane Terrorblade. We'll see what WS wants to build on this and how long he kind of waits on Demon Zeal. I personally feel like Demon Zeal, the earlier the better. You just get so much out of that shard that allows you to farm so quickly that I feel like picking it up when you can, as early as you can, to me feels like the right move.
Yeah, he will need to tank up. He needs to be as tanky as possible. You're playing against, so Pipe in this game is a must from the offlane TP. Right. You get some, Bracer, some Raid Band, and then Power Tread, so get that Pipe. But I also want to see Orchid, something that I did mention, because they have no control whatsoever. This mid matchup can go both ways. This can be a bit of a tricky one, even though it is a Storm into melee. This is the one where he can actually be killed. Because if you misplay, but there's also a big turnaround potential. WS starting with Metamorphosis level 1. Usually what you would see is getting that reflection at level 1, but this time around he wants to have slightly more pressure. He wants to get the CS because Slark and Lich can actually get the kill.
Yeah, it's
he's
still
not
a little
careful
bit
enough.
interesting to me because I like the reflection then level 2 meta because then you've also got battery, salt, and cogs, and that usually lines up for a kill if you've got somebody close by. It would probably have to be the Lich, I would say, in terms of getting somebody dead to rights, but for right now, a couple of cogs kicked over and hits a couple of heroes here. We'll see how it goes for Dyrachyo on this Sark, and Sark Lich could be a pretty deadly combo if they're not too careful for Talon. Top lane, Natsumi here with Cuckoo on the Pugna and the Morphling. They're going up against this Bristle, and we have seen some pretty good Bristle games from the offlane.
It's going to be all about stacking for Tundra. Magnus, as a position forward, this is how he gets the gold. He doesn't really do much in terms of providing the pressure in the lane. They can definitely get the kills in top lane, but you also benefit a lot from making the stacks happen. Kodo dropping low, but you can see the difference in CS. BZM, am I seeing this correctly? Does he have 3 CS on Storm against 15 and 7?
Yeah, you're seeing that right. You don't need a new prescription on those glasses that you don't wear, but it is not looking good over mid, at least for the moment, for this Storm Spirit. And I wonder if we're going to see anybody move over towards mid.
Help, guys. I need bottle refill. I don't even have a bottle, but somebody needs to refill something. Bring me a healing cell. Bottle is coming onto the courier.
Dyrachyo in some trouble. A battery assault, staying within the creep wave, but they've got the cogs around him. Dyrachyo's going to die for first blood. And I don't even think that they can trade here, but they do finally get that right click, that kill, and WS not going to go after Whitemon for a second. But they got the Slark, and he was trying to stay within the creep wave, not take as much from the battery assault, but eventually the cogs were there, and the damage was dealt by Terrorblade.
Ooh, Whitemon going for the pull at level 2 instead of the Frost Shield. Could have made the difference if he did have the Frost Shield. You are... Like, it mitigates so much damage on Lich. Even 1 point in it, it is 45%.
That's quite a bit. Definitely
compared to
a difference
Sinister
maker.
Gaze, like the value that you get from it could have been much higher. Whitemon, we'll try to pull the creep wave.
Partial pull.
I wanted to call it half pull, but then I realized it's 3 out of 4.
Yeah. So I went with the partial. I got you. I read what you wanted to do in your mind, but now he's level 3, so he should theoretically want 1 in each skill, right, for the Lich?
On Lich? No, you want to max the nuke. This hero just brings way too much damage, so second point is very valuable, lowering the cooldown and getting that extra damage. Dyrachyo, in terms of CS, 15 against the 16 for Terrorblade, and he also did go for Orb of Venom, so they wanted to play aggressive. Problem is, they're playing into Clockwork, so when they try to play aggressive, they're going to punch back. And once Clockwork hits that level 3, in this lane, I assume he's going to go for Battery instead, just so that they can try to battle it out slightly more rather than burning the mana.
Right.
Storm is catching up slowly in the mid lane, but it doesn't seem to be enough, because there's a big difference. 27 and 12 against 12 and 1.
Yeah, he's kind of getting back. 33 in some trouble, turns his back, but they've got another blast. They'll take out this Bristleback, and Cuckoo will be credited for that kill. And Talon, they've got a 1,000 net worth lead early on. Obviously, I would say a significant chunk of that because of mid. 29 and 12. He's got almost as many denies as he has last hits.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah,
It's always painful to watch. Mikoto, man, has been owning these matchups.
Yeah, crazy to think that the team is just 1-1, but now they'll go for Cuckoo. He is in no man's land, but he will try to secure an escape.
Radiant's middle tower
Or maybe a deny on these neutrals now. Can he get it? No. Close. Respect the effort. Almost making sure that Saksa put himself into too much trouble with that Nether Ward down. But BZM comes back to the lane. They're going to TP over the Clockwork mid. Maybe see if they can make anything happen with this 6-minute rune coming up in just 25 seconds. So he'll stick around for a little bit. That will be a solo Terrorblade over bottom.
Oh, Monkey's level 6 already.
Yeah, level 6, Battery Assault. Cuckoo's here as well. The TP over from the Lich, but the Wukong's command is used. They'll stop the TP, and they will get this kill on a BZM. Now up 2,000 net worth this early on, and still ahead denies to CS.
Radiant
This is the second time that Cuckoo plants a sentry ward. He knows how important it is for Magnus, as we said, to get the farm by stacking, and also for Bristleback to get the farm in the triangle. Mikoto making the first move, rotating to the top lane. Lanes are looking really good for Talon right now. They destroyed a mid matchup, they just rotated, they got the kill, and Monkey wants one more.
Wonder how long this is going to continue on for, but it seems very likely that this goes on for a while with how the lanes are continuing to progress. They are looking to maybe get 33 or find somebody who ends up coming for that Wizard Rune, or honestly, both. They look for 33, they've got another blast, there's the Jingu and another easy kill onto the Bristleback. That's going to make it 4-2 Talon.
Uh-oh, and they're going to camp their X-Spear, and look what Cuckoo's doing. He's just blocking the camps.
Making sure 0 stacks.
Blocking the outer ring camp on the other side, and I don't think you're going to be able to get the...
Oh, yikes.
To get the rune against the Clockwork.
They got another kill.
Kill.
He gets found near the tier 1 tower. Dyrachyo comes over, but this is a kill and a wipe on, and now Dyrachyo, are you in a little bit too far? You have to be careful about this. The right click's coming through and finally pounces in between the two heroes because he knew he might die if he stayed there. But 33 getting chased. Cuckoo here to help out. There's the Decrepify. Makoto's back up towards top. And they've got this 33 Bristleback in a bad way. They also got Dyrachyo bottom, and they're going to get this kill on the Bristleback.
This game is completely cooked. Like, they have way too many problems because Stormspread, he got dumpstered in the lane. He is catching up, but doesn't seem to be enough. He also needs to be the playmaker for the team because right now, what I'm seeing is their camps are blocked, which means that Bristleback needs a little bit more time to get online, and you have a free farm Terrorblade, free farm Monkey King, plus also Morphling on top of the network. BZM will try to invade the enemy jungle and try to get something done there, but...
Dyrachyo's over 4.
Wow,
they're
he's
gonna
playing aggressively.
Yeah, pounce Jingu in a second. If he got hit one more time, there's an amplified damage, Tom, so you kind of gotta...
We're just kidding, guys.
Yeah, forget I did that. This is brutal. You got Terrorblade at level 6 already. He's looking pipe. I assume the Demon Zeal shard pick up after that. The net worth differences are insane.
He's level 5. Like, he can't really do much. He needs that ulti for extra regen, for extra protection, if he wants to play aggressively. Saksa will get another sentry D-ward, but the damage has already been done.
Oh my god, Cuckoo. Such a nuisance with these sentries.
Man is on the mission. He doesn't need items. All he needs to do is block the enemy camps. It's been a while since I saw that. Cuckoo is an old school player. It's been a thing for back in the days when he was playing. So, yeah, some of the ideas...
They stick.
Yeah, they do.
They never change. But that is going to be brutal here for Tundra because you said it at the beginning of the game. They are reliant on stacks. And Cuckoo read that whole book from cover to back and knows what they want. D-ward this OBS and still just level 5. Same level as this Clockwork. And Makoto's here again. You're not level 6. You can't get out of this. Dyrachyo's dead once more. Whitemon under the tower. He'll be killed off by Natsumi, who rotated through the Twin Gate.
All right, check the number of his followers on social media right now. Did he lose any or did he gain after being level 5 Slark? This is such a tough... In terms of network, he's like doing okay. He's doing the best in the team, but it's still not good enough when it comes... Because he's level 5.
It is so rough, and 33 trying to figure something out. He has the shard queued up.
You can understand how he's thinking. He's like, I need something, some cheap amount of damage so that we can take the fights. And Saksa is also level 4 because his XP rune got stolen. Mikoto is going to get the kill here.
And he's going to stay level 4 for at least another 20 seconds because he's not going to be alive for that long.
I thought you were going to be toxic and say 20 minutes. He's going to be level 4.
Whoa.
I think if he dies one more time, that he's not going to be level 6 at 14 minutes because their XP rune might get stolen again.
I kind of am convinced to agree with you. They are starting to get some Essence Shift stacks here going after Natsumi, but doesn't have Pounce for 15 seconds and then sees a metamorphosized Terrorblade and doesn't want to go into that. I don't really know what Saksa expects here, but it's dangerous. Dyrachyo, he's still not level 6.
I don't know what to say. It's really hard for them to make a move. They just can't. I mean,
Hook shot now. He's
still
higher level than this Sark.
they're just getting ran over. Talon, man, playing the game perfectly. Some of the kills are also handled to them, but they are choking them out of the map. They can't really do much. This is the stack, 33. He wants to farm it.
This is really, really rough for the side of Tundra. But you know what's not rough? Typing in exclamation point ticket into the chat and finding out more information to come join us in Belgrade, Serbia at the Sava Center and coming to watch some great Dota. Maybe not this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're down for watching some beatdowns like these, feel free to join us.
Some people like that. I like watching a beatdown.
12 minutes in. Man, Talon, as we said, this is the team that's going to surprise a lot of them. I did not believe in this draft, but they played it so perfectly. Going for the Mage Slayer as well. The best item against Bristleback, great against Storm, great against Lich as well.
Yeah, me, you, and Chad.
Yeah, we got baited by Chad. I saw that 53%.
White Mon, he's going to be dead very quickly. WS gets the kill there. I mean, Makoto, we talked about it. That first game against Quinn, he looked amazing. This game, he looked
even better.
Yeah, outstanding. He was denying higher than they were CSing mid. He might still be. I almost want to... He's got 19 to... All right, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't think Storm's stuck in 19 CS. Zox is still level 5. He's on the run. Natsumi on his tail turns into the Magnus. We'll wave for him. He's also got Shockwave and a Skewer if need be, if he wants to turn back into this Magnus. But eventually he will find him for one more right click and should be able to get this kill. Doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but eventually has that Skewer, and it's a little bit of a race.
And the
Blood Grenade and the Urn. Still chasing Soxa. This is...
Dun, 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 dun. This is a lot of space.
No.
He's breaking the ankle.
No way.
No way.
So, oh, okay, okay.
Guys, he did it. But I said if he dies one or two more times, he's still going to be level 5. Let's see if Bristleback is pinging out the XP rune. 30 seconds, guys. We need to be ready.
Everybody here. Be here with me. Thank you. Yasha, I believe, already finished on Natsumi. Makoto, Simian Stride is kind of... I mean, is broken the right word?
It's strong.
It seems very strong. Oh, my God. They want to make sure that they do not get this Wisdom Rune. 33, he was here an hour ago, hoping that his team would show up, and they have. All right, Chain Frost does some work. 33 survives for a moment, eventually dying to Jokam. They lose White Mon, and now the Ball Lightning is not enough mana to get back to the base. BZM is dead, 3 for 1. Not what they would have liked. However, Soxa stole the other Wisdom Rune.
That's something. And he got himself to level 6. These supports inside of Tundra, they're so reliant on getting those level 6s. You want to have RP, get that extra stun. It's not about landing like 3-man stuns, it's just getting a solo kill. And he's so far away from the Blink Dagger.
Oh. Maybe. Hiding behind the tree. If he can't see me, I can't see you. Or if, something like that. I can't see you, you can't see me.
I close my eyes and I can't see you because how stupid that sounded. Let's see Dyrachyo. Oh,
balance strike. Oh my God, turned into the Magnus, almost killing Dyrachyo. Hook shot off the mark. Soxa on the run. And the Urn, the Blood Grenade, and eventually the waveform kill. Natsumi's dominating. They have a 10,000 net worth lead. It is 20-3.
There's just not enough space to farm. They don't have enough, and they're not leaving any kind of pressure.
Oh, White Mon. Frost Shield, I don't know about here if it's going to help you enough, but they've got the Ball Lightning. Maybe Makoto's getting a little bit too far. This would be a lot of gold, but WS and Cuckoo are here to help out. The Boundless Strike is down onto the ground. They get the kill to White Mon, and they will look for another. BZM, again, Ball Lightning all the way back to base. And Dyrachyo even TPing next to his base to go to the tier 3 down bottom.
I think we've all been in this situation where you know that the game is almost impossible to win. Can we check Dota?
The Dota
What
plus
is
win
Dota plus
probability.
say? Yeah, it would be really nice.
It's
to
going to be
see
less
how
than
generous Aben
33%.
is.
Yeah, 90 to 10. That is
So you're telling me
rough.
there is a chance
10%.
to make a comeback. It's Magnus. It's Magnus defending the high ground. If he can get to the Blink Dagger.
Do you think this number is generous?
Very.
Okay,
Considering how
say.
this game is going right now and what they have super scaling Tricore on side of Talon.
Zaxa, RP on a Cuckoo, and he's not dead. Life Drain, Wukong's, BZM, he's gone. Dyrachyo forced to ult. The Chain Frost comes through, not doing anything. And they have to turn tail and run. Again. I mean, this is reminiscent of that Shopify game yesterday. This is rough. Almost your favorite thought process, 1,000 net worth per minute.
Yeah, if we
Normally
get there,
not this early, but
in my book, it is officially over.
you put the one next to their name.
Not comebackable.
Yeah. Oh, Dyrachyo, even with that silence, unable to stop Natsumi from getting the kill. WS, gotta be careful. Shockwave in, do they have the control? The balance strike into the Sunder. They still can't kill this terribly. BZM trying to ball Lightning away, but the mana is not enough to get him out of the high ground. Shockwave onto 2. They've got the life drain. Eventually, BZM and Sox are gone again. Makoto on a godlike spree.
And we just hit that 17K at 17 minutes.
18K at 17
over,
minutes.
boys and girls.
I've had these games before. You say GG very early in the chat. Sometimes you win like one fight afterwards. You think you're coming back, but...
When was the last time that they killed a hero?
You gotta give me a lot of thinking time. About 18 minutes worth. But I don't even know who they killed last. Was it... Oh, it was the kill by the Wisdom Rune at 14 minutes. Because they killed one. It was a 3-for-1 exchange. They're trying to get Natsumi, but I don't even know if he's losing health. I think he lost more health shifting. Pounce, leashing, and getting that kill onto Dyrachyo.
Man, there's literally nothing Tundra can do.
Oh, Whitemon. Oh, he tried. He tried to TP out. Frost Shield's not going to help for the life drain, and now Balance Strike finding Soxa. They killed a courier. They almost have as many courier kills as kills.
Talon is playing turbo mode while Tundra is playing Dota at normal speed. They just cannot do anything. Look at this zip. It's a slow zip, level 1 ulti on Storm Spirit. 33 about to finish off his Aghanim Scepter. Maybe if they can get some Ags on Bristleback, get a Blink Dagger on Soxa, but he's also very far away.
How long are you going to need for that?
At this rate, I think he's going to need another good 5 to 7 minutes.
He got the
this
on
game's
Bristle.
going to end. If they lose a fight, they're going to lose another side. They also started munching on a tier 3 tower in the mid lane. WS, we haven't seen much from him. He's just, farming his items, going for that Orchid that we did mention after finishing the pipe. And they're ready to go, ready to close it out.
How many Galvanized stacks does BZM have?
0.
Oh. Dyrachyo's. Sayback hook shot from downtown. Dyrachyo goes into the ult, trying to turn this for a second. 33 will show his back, but it's made of paper mache. They don't really even care about that. They've got the RP into the balance strike. They'll look for the Wukong's command. Whitemon's going to die here. 2 dead on the side of Tundra. And they all fall back into the fountain. Sip up and heal up. While WS and the rest of the team work on the mid-set of racks.
Did you like how I lied saying that maybe there's a chance if they get Aghanim Scepter and Blink Dagger on Magnus?
Got that tank of copium under there? Like, what's going on?
Inhale the whole thing.
Seriously, you're going to need a lot more than that.
Radiant's top tower.
Some Galaxy copium. Top tier 3, that's going to be taken next as they put the pressure on continually to the side of Tundra. 35-3. A lot of kills for the side of Talon. They're going to wait for him in, look for more. They'll take out Whitemon. He's dead again. 33 will try to show his back once more, but BZM is dead. They don't have a Storm to help out. Duraccio goes into the ulti. Eventually, 33 is going to be stripped of his bristles and thrown into a 6-foot hole. So will the rest of the team, as Talon, they get the GG call from Tundra, and they win this game very easily. 40-4 in 21 minutes.
Yeah, this is the biggest stomp of the tournament
Oh
so
my
far,
God.
and we're only on day 2, and I don't think we're going to be getting a bigger stomp than this. This has just been brutal to watch. Talon firing in all cylinders from the mid lane. Mikoto, again, destroying the matchup, and look at the smiles of Cuckoo. He's like, yeah, I blocked all of their camps. They could not farm at all.
I bought out every sentry to start the game and blocked every camp on the left side of the map. I mean, that was strategic. That was so good from Talon. I feel as though the expectations, because we were coming into this not having the biggest expectations of Talon. We didn't think they were going to be bad by any means, but they are overperforming and then some. They look so good.
I said the others underestimated this team. I also underestimated the way they've been playing. These boys, they're doing so well.
Oh, yeah.
And this team is going to be a menace throughout the tournament, because if they keep playing like this, at this speed, we did say yesterday that they tend to play slightly faster than the other Southeast Asian teams, but this is just brutal to watch. Like, what do you, like, you see that what they're capable to do when they play against some of these big teams. They just beat Tundra. I think in a lot of people's minds, there's been this Tundra, because they've been playing so well recently,
right?
They're going to be maybe taking the whole thing, taking the whole tournament, top contenders, getting the top 3, kind of like guaranteed in a lot of people's books. But yeah, something's just off. The way they lose games, they get stomped, and there's really no way of them coming back. But they also stomped the game when they played yesterday, the second game. So seems like they're pretty much a coin flip.
Yeah, now the road gets way harder because now they're 1-2. You have to win 2 BO3s to get to those 3 victories. And now Talon needs to win 1 of 2 BO3s to move on. So they're in a good spot. They look pretty solid for the side of Talon. Tundra's on their heels now, and they might be going home in a moment. I mean, that is not something that you think you would have been talking about this early on. But when you see a game like this, Talon 40-4. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah, it's really not good, B-Cup. 40 kills in 21 minutes. They didn't kill a single core throughout this whole game. Says a lot about the game as well. But yeah, Mikoto, he's been popping off. This guy is just on a different level. He knows these matchups, and maybe that's the reasoning why they are getting the last pick as well, so they can give him that favorable matchup.
Let's see who they give. I was going to say, all right, Mikoto gets it, but I was going to ask you to make a case for Cuckoo.
Because I feel the Sentryman.
I want to say
Centromancer.
Yeah. I thought maybe he deserved it. With the amount of gold he took off the map, away from Tundra.
He did. Like, we did mention that it's all about getting the stack so that Magnus can get the farm, and also Bristleback, so they blocked all of these camps. But yeah, Mikoto, one more time, playing out of his mind. This guy, he will need to get studied if they want to be able to win against him in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was a really good game, and you can see more games like that, especially coming up on the weekend when we've got tickets for the LAN event, the LAN portion of this event. Exclamation point ticket on the chat. You can get more information to join us here at the Sava Center and have some fun in Belgrade, Serbia, watching some amazing Tier 1 Dota. The first tournament of 2025 is already shown to be a fun one. Why not come and join us, right?
Yeah.
If you had a choice, you'd join us?
Oh, absolutely. It's also very close to where I am, so yeah.
Simple as that. You should join us. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break, show you some highlights, and we'll see you in a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to the beautiful Belgrade, Serbia. We are back here with Fissure Playground and ready to give you another BO1. We had a good BO1 to start,
I
right?
hope the game is going to be longer than the break that we just had.
Well, yeah.
It was a 21-minute game.
It was close. 21-minute game, 20-minute break. We're back here with another BO1. It's Aurora against Gaming Gladiators. And same scenario. Both teams 1-1. And if you win, you're 1 BO3 away from getting into the LAN portion of the event that you guys could join us for on January 31st to February 2nd. But if you lose, you have to win 2 BO3s or you're out. You're 1 BO3 away from just going home, and that would be no good. Well, for the team, that is. So, it starts here. Aurora Gaming, what are you thinking?
Ooh, this one's going to be spicy because I thought that Gaming is going to be looking slightly stronger. They did drop a game yesterday when they were playing against, let me just remind myself real quick, against Talon. They also got stomped by Talon. Seems like everybody's getting stomped by Talon. And then they played against Extreme Gaming, which was a very good showing of Gaming. But I think they might be kind of having same issues as Tundra is having right now, that they don't feel too consistent. When they're playing bad, they're just getting stomped, and when they're playing good, they're playing really good.
Right. And it's now about, at this point, figuring out how to stay consistent, because you lose that consistency. If you go from a loss to win, you lose that consistency, you're really putting yourself in danger of getting eliminated, and you just are trying to make it to that LAN stage. I love Swiss stage, does put a lot of the closer matchups on the board, but we are seeing some blowouts that maybe we weren't expecting.
I think if they watch that, if they replay that game, it wouldn't be as bad that the previous game that is. But yeah, it was just rough to watch, and yeah, happens from time to time.
Yeah, it definitely does. So we're going to say hello to our team. So let's start with Aurora. Aurora on your screen right now, and Aurora Gaming, Palace, Q, Jabs, Abed, and Ali. Ali, one of my favorite players. Liked him back in the IG days, and I've liked a lot of these guys that we've seen their careers progress further and further, and it has been, individually, I would say, a fun career for all these guys to watch.
Yeah, they've been very entertaining. Ollie has been super consistent when it comes down to him playing that traditional support as well. This guy pretty much always delivers. I would compare him to Whitemon in the recent years. This guy has always been good. But yeah, the whole squad is doing relatively well. I want to see if they can keep some of the, like, not gonna say momentum that they had so far, but they had some nice games in the last couple of weeks.
No, they certainly have. And let's take a look at the opponent's roster, Gaming Gladiators. Gaming, pretty solid squad, but definitely having their faults right now, and they're trying to figure that out as this Swiss stage goes on. They've went from Doraccio to Watson, and things have maybe not gone the way that they would have hoped to go, but you don't just start at the top. You have to get through those opening workouts and figure things out, and I know they've had a lot of time to this point, like it hasn't just been a couple of days, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure some things out, and they're starting to get there in some of their games, but consistency, I've said it a lot about a lot of things, is the name of the game. If they can stay consistent, they can make it to the playoffs for sure. And we've got the comparisons on our screen. And Aurora, 23 days in the roster together as this 5-man squad. You've also got 112 days for Game Gladiators, but they play a much faster game. Or, well, is 3 minutes much faster, would you say?
Well, on average, it definitely is. I mean, Aurora yesterday played against Power Vision, 51-minute game, and they also played against Heroic, 43-minute game. This team wants to drag out the games. They know how to, like, their late game is very chaotic. Again, this is Southeast Asian team. We always do mention it because they thrive in chaos. They know how to take it to the late game and then win from there. Some back support for Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a butt support. Yeah.
You gotta stay comfy. Sometimes the gamer chairs, you know, gotta get some more support. Sometimes it's the back, sometimes it's not. But, you know, when you're carrying the team, sometimes you need a little bit more cushion and gotta be able to drag these guys to the finish line. Aurora, maybe looking a little tired.
No, I think he's doing some research.
Locked in.
Locked in, yeah, looking at those drafts, what's going to be good. And looking what Aurora has been playing so far, they played pretty much, I mean, they only played 2 games, but there's going to be some overlapping from that Q's position. This is the guy that excels playing position 4. Those melee position 4s are the best ones for him.
So the stat on your screen, the decline begins. The oldest player at the event is 31 years old, and that is Ace. On top of that, he has the lowest rank among all FPG participants, top 735 in Europe.
That's how it is. The older you get, the worse you start to play. At least that's the case with me. But yeah, 31 is the oldest.
Is that old?
That's really not old. It's
thank God.
Especially for Dota players. But there, we have some young ones as well here.
Yeah, Satanic being the youngest, I believe. And I mean, this is 31's not old. For all you guys in chat, don't let that stat scare you at all. It is not that old of an age, but with age comes wisdom. For most. Maybe not for you, but with age does come some wisdom. You're letting me hang on this one. Like, I'm watching you just kind of let me keep talking, and I'm like, I'm waiting for you to kind of bail me out a little bit on this. Just agree with me.
I was just thinking about some Wisdom Runes jokes, but couldn't come up with anything.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so these 2 teams, I want to see Jazz, like what his hero pool is going to be throughout the tournament. My man, he loves to play those illusion heroes still from the offlane. Like, even when it was not meta, he was playing Naga from the offlane. He did play 1 game of Terrorblade. He is very farm-oriented from the offlane. I mean, that's what offlane is nowadays, but also back in the days, he loved to be slightly more greedy than the other players, I would say. And if we check what he's been playing in the last couple of weeks, it's been a lot of Bristleback, a lot of Earthshaker, some summon heroes like Lycan and Beastmaster. Didn't have too much success with it. You know, his Siggy Enigma as well. And they are drawing on Dota buff pages.
Ooh. Vote in the chat.
Trying to find a pattern.
By the way, for who you want to support, exclamation point A for Aurora, and exclamation point G for Gaiman. We listened to chat last time on our predictions.
We did, and I don't think I'm going to do the same thing again.
We might not. We'll see how this goes in terms of predictions, but yeah, just remember to get your votes into the chat for Aurora and or Gaiman. I told you which ones.
Yeah, they have to sign the papers that they're not going to feed. This is something that professional e-gamers have to do before the game, that they're not.
What happens if you break that signature?
I mean,
we just saw 4-4.
We just saw Tundra breaking in on all 5 positions.
Yeah.
Maybe it's related to the smoke. Maybe no. Maybe it's related to the smoke feature. By the way, the smoke feature, aka bug, is not allowed. Our players at the tournament have been informed that they are not allowed to use it.
Yeah, not allowed to do any of the shenanigans. Looking very locked in. The coin flip on your screen. Gaiman won the coin flip. They'll choose first pick, and it's still holding strong. Radiant, the other pick for Aurora. You ever see the Aurora Borealis before?
No. I still have to do that. It's on my
bucket list. Yeah.
It's not like I'm planning to do it. It's on the bucket list. Probably will never go. But
you're just hoping it shows up one day from your house? Like, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, a private jet shows up at my place. Like, yeah, we're here to pick
you
up.
Aurora Borealis? Yeah, maybe we'll take a trip together. Go see the stars. Sounds nice.
Sounds nice, except the part that we have to go together.
Everything else is nice. What do you mean?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
He's not kidding. I see it on his face. You guys don't see the physical comedy aspect of this. He is not kidding at all. The both teams getting locked in. Like I said, this matchup's very important. These 1-1s are really stressful because it either sets you up for playing potentially 2 more BO3s or promotion, and obviously, 2-1
No matter what happens,
2-1 is better than 1-2.
Yeah, wow, keep going, Big Up.
What with basic things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everybody should know by looking at the okay. Water is wet. That's pretty basic that everybody knows. I don't know what else
I
you
meant
want me to
Dota.
go. Oh, Dota related?
Yeah.
Your gold goes up. That's a good thing. Net worth is a good thing. Other things? No.
Nah, I think that's enough. I also
Let's pull
want
the report
to.
on that.
Yeah, I also want to see how mid matchup is going to be, like what's going to happen in the mid lane. Because so far we've seen some big stumps, especially coming from Mikoto, making a lot of difference. And Abed, he played Sniper, which is a lane dominator. Tiny looked so good. Tiny yesterday had 100% win rate. Let's check if something has changed so far. No, 7 out of 7 games from the mid lane.
You know what that calls for?
What?
Your best impression of Tiny.
Tiny.
Perfect. Ugh. You won't get anything better.
That's the only one I can think of right now.
You always forget rolling out.
Rolling out.
Can do this all day. Well, actually, no, we can't. That's the only 2 lines you know, which is surprising.
Being a Tiny player, yeah?
Yeah, you hate Tiny so much.
Again, I'm focusing on different things. I'm focusing on what's happening
on the
on
CS
the map.
map. Yeah, we're very different when we focus on other things. One is you can focus. I can't. Focus is not my name of the game. We'll be getting in the draft shortly, but yeah, it seems to be pretty relaxed for both teams. Saw a lot of giggles coming in from Gaming Gladiators. They were looking pretty optimistic, I would say. You got to come into these games optimistic.
Yeah, I don't
You're
think
tilted
anyone's coming into the series being like,
sometimes,
yeah,
you know,
we can't. That's not. You should not be playing
Not like,
professional
oh,
Dota
we
if you
can't,
have a
but you're
mentality
not-
that you can't win a game.
Yeah. I'm not saying
You already lost if you come with that mentality.
Yeah, but I win some of my games. Like
I'm talking about professional
Yeah,
e-gamers, you know,
e-gamers,
playing
yeah.
here on stage.
e-professionals. I have that keycap, actually. That exact keycap.
What is it?
A friend of mine makes those keycaps, and she gave me one last time I saw her.
Yeah, but what?
So, what? So we've got a little bit of a delay. Be a level 1 penalty. So minus 30 seconds is the penalty on the draft, on the reserve time. It's not a lot of time. 30 seconds is...
It can make the difference. 30 seconds, especially when it comes down to the 23, 24. If you have nothing left, it can be very impactful. But yeah, the draft has started, and looking at how gaming has played in the last couple of weeks, they most of the time like to open up with a lot of these beefy boys, if they are available. Some Bristolbacks yesterday when they were playing against Extreme, they also picked up Dawnbreaker, which just got banned. Even back a couple of months, they really know how to utilize this Dawnbreaker, because Dawnbreaker, especially if the enemy team does not have enough of damage, if their damage is really slow, there's no burst, this is where Dawnbreaker really shines.
Let's see what they want to ban here after the Alchemist, and it will be the Pangolier. Oh, it's not a Lich ban. Do you think Lich is going to force any bans in the first phase?
Maybe if you're planning to go for like some more physical damage-oriented lineup, but yeah, I don't think Hero is strong, but I don't think it's worth it to ban it in the first phase. This also leaves some of the like big ones, the Dragon Knight, if you want to pick it up, Magnus as well. These heroes are super popular, even though Dragon Knight has been the most contested hero of the tournament so far. Let me just double check that. Him and Alchemist actually are sharing the first spot right now.
Did he get banned in the last game?
He got banned. I believe he got banned. But Magnus is also the one, like, even though the last performance that we've seen wasn't too good, Magnus does quite a lot in terms of what he brings to the table. Amplifies your carry, repositioning tool, BKB, piercing ability, slow. The hero has everything, but yeah, Aurora picking up that Lich, I really don't mind it. I think this hero is just that strong that can be picked up. I don't think it's worth it to ban it, but you can open up. It doesn't say anything, it doesn't reveal anything, gives you a strong lane.
Yeah, very strong hero. We've seen some mega performances with the Lich, and this Nyx Assassin getting a lot of attention. It's been banned quite often.
It's really annoying to play against Nyx.
Farms really well.
He does. He farms heroes well. Yeah, he also farms the jungle early on, so
Yeah.
no matter what, you're going to be able to get your Dagon and snipe a hero. It's very difficult to take a fight 5v4 because he's going to be killing the hero. It's a bit different in a professional game because they are moving better than in your pubs, having a lot more sentries, etc. So it's not as easy to execute the Nyx Assassin in the professional game compared to the pubs because everybody experienced it. Like, you know how annoying it is to play against Nyx.
Interesting keyboard. Sorry,
Your friend made that, yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. That was a Snoopy keyboard, though. All Snoopy inspired. You know, me, I'm all about the cosmetics, and Earth Spirit coming through for Aurora. We've talked about Earth Spirit, very strong. At level 6, very strong hero, gets Blade Mail pretty early on, rotates pretty
10
often,
seconds remaining.
pretty mobile.
Gives you a lot of damage between him and Lich. As you mentioned, with the Blade Mail being popular, you run in with Frost Shield. There's so much team fight coming from the two heroes already.
Pugna again. We're seeing a lot of Pugna. What makes Pugna so desirable in a draft?
One of the stronger laners, the speediest hero in the game, very difficult to catch. You have tower damage, you have save, you have also team fight potential in terms of putting down your Nether
10
Ward.
seconds remaining.
Multiple saves on top of that.
Right.
Can help out with Roche
5 seconds
in
remaining.
terms of healing if you have some high damage dealing hero. Well-rounded hero. Might be also slightly OP in my book, but yeah, the hero
Really?
works really well in most of the matchups. Can be paired up with anything.
As you see on your screen, type !ticket into the chat, and you could be here witnessing Yatoro's return to the big stage in the first LAN of 2025 here at the Saba Center. So come join us, mainly the players, and have some fun watching some Tier 1 Dota. Shadow Shaman. I'm a big Shadow Shaman fan. I'm just going to say that.
Why is that? Why do you like Shaman so much?
Used to get played a lot in the Chinese scene. There were a couple of guys who really did a lot of damage with it when it wasn't considered a great support, and I feel like this
10
guy
seconds remaining.
can always shine.
He's actually been picked 2 times so far. I did not expect Shaman to be as popular, even though it's his 3rd game on the 2nd day.
He was picked up, not a lot, but a good amount of times in the close qualifiers of Wallachia.
Can you guess who this is?
No, it's Ace.
Has tattoo of an ace.
I wasn't. you caught me without the focus. I was looking at Shadow Shaman pretty in depth there.
So they needed some kind of a catch, something to keep them in place because Magnus Pugna. This also means that Magnus is going to be played as a core. They love to run it as position 1 or position 3. Quinn doesn't really play it from the mid lane. But Shaman, with facets, you can go for the Dispel facet, and you can also go for the Giga Ward facet, which deals insane amount of damage. Like, you can't kill it. With the other wards, you can, if you have, I don't know, some Lil Shredder, whatever, Ursa, he kills it quickly, but it has so much HP that you're never going to try to focus it down.
Phantom Assassin. Zero also picked in the Paravision Yakult game.
Now, to me, if I'm looking at the draft from Aurora, I would say this is Paravision. They love to play these heroes. it's also a super strong lane. Phantom Assassin with Lich, their chase is through the roof.
Yeah.
Insane amount of slow, especially if you decide to go for Orb of Venom as well early on. Shadow Shaman is going to be in a lot of trouble. When he's trading on the side against Lich, he gets nuked, he gets daggered, he needs to try to run away, and this is also one of the slower heroes in the game, so it could be very difficult for him to play the lane. But they also have, like, depending where the lane is going to stand, if they're going to do some shenanigans, but they also have the Skewer Back into Shackle combination, which sounds really nice. You can maybe get the kill underneath the tower, but he needs to be careful. And also, the Frost Shield destroys Shadow Shaman innate ability, that extra tick, once he uses, what's it called, Cluster Cluck.
Yeah.
He's just going to die from one tick of it. And you also have a dagger for the chase. So it's not going to be as easy of the Shadow Shaman game. And speaking of Shadow, there is going to be Shadow Demon on side of Aurora. So that's going to be a great save against Shadow Shaman, great save against Magnus. You have a Dispel mechanic against Pugna, so whoever's trying to get saved, and also removing the Empower from the enemy carry or Magnus if he's going to be played as a carry. So yeah, good way of thinking. A lot of counter picking coming up from Aurora. In terms of what they have against Morphling, these are not like the best heroes because he doesn't care too much about either Shadow Demon or Phantom Assassin. And also he can turn into Earth Spirit, he can turn into Phantom Assassin, and then you have more chase. So another good Morphling game, pretty similar to what happened in the previous one. And now we're going to be looking for Quinn's hero from the mid lane, and most likely Jabs' hero.
For Aurora.
Yes.
Yeah. Ember banned. What else are you looking to ban here?
Gaming gladiators turn to ban.
2 mobile heroes in the Puck and the Ember. So what is that leaving Quinn with? Invoker, Quap from the mid lane.
I'm fine with Quap. I think it's a really good game. In terms of lockdown, what they have so far, it's Earth Spirit. You can blink away when he uses a roll. Sinister Gaze, which is not that great. So I think they might use this opportunity and just pick up Quap for themselves. There's also potential to get Earthshaker because of the lane matchup when you're playing against Earth Spirit, because you're playing into melee and you are going to win that matchup.
All right. Well, definitely giving some options here. Then for Jabs in the off lane, that TB is still available. You were talking about earlier. Beastmaster still on the board. Lycan still on the board as well.
Gaming gladiators turn to
And they ban Tide. They pick up the Void Spirit, so mobility, a little bit of catch. Some damage with the jump.
That also works. I think they wanted to have the jump for the backlines instead of like
catch like
it's a better jump than Queen of Pain. If we're talking about punishing Shadow Demon and Lich, you also build into Aghanim Scepter. I think this time around it's going to be one item into Ags. Most likely is just going to be for something for him to tank up like a Mage Slayer, because you're playing against Lich, Earth Spirit, Shadow Demon, a lot of magic damage, PA's all physical.
Offlane final pick is Night Stalker.
Oh, I love this. I love this pick. Both last picks are kind of, we want to ruin the supports. Like, we don't want supports to have any kind of a game. I did mention Earthshaker, but didn't see that Earthshaker was actually banned, so never mind that. And yeah, Night Stalker stocks have been on the rise recently. There's a different itemization. Most of the time, you want to pick up the night facet, so the first 5 minutes and 15 seconds are going to be the nighttime for Night Stalker, where you can actually put the pressure. And yeah, they needed something, because they have really good jumpers. All 3 cores with Earth Spirit, with Phantom Assassin, and Night Stalker, they're going to be ready to jumping the backlines. And
10 seconds remaining.
I think the story for this game is just going to be who's going to be killing the supports first.
Yeah, it does feel like a very support-oriented game for both teams. Multiple heroes that can jump for both squads as well. It'll be interesting to see how the Magnus does. I feel like he's going to be very important to getting his jump, maybe with a blink RP if it's big enough to control a couple of these heroes to give them that opportunity to have that lockdown. But Night Stalker, to me, feels like the very standout hero here for Aurora.
You also don't itemize early on. Like, there is some save coming out from Pugna, but that's about it. This Night Stalker pick ruins all 5 heroes pretty much, because if you are looking at what they're buying, he's buying into Manta style, Magnus is buying into like Blink Dagger, so you can't use these abilities once you get jumped. And yeah, chat 68%. I'm gonna vote for Aurora as well. Try to get that number up to 69. So that's gonna be my vote. And I also like the Night Stalker. As a Night Stalker spammer, I think this is just gonna be a great game for it.
You think it's gonna be a great game for it? You guys have 4 points and 1 point. I feel like I need to go up the ladder a little bit. We can't all be getting points, so I got to risk it. And I'm going to go Gaming Gladiators. No analytical presentation from me whatsoever.
Yeah, mine was very analytical. Get that number up to 69.
Yeah. Wow. Man, really the best analysis I've heard from you in a while. So we're going to be getting into this game. This BO1 between Gaming Gladiators and Aurora should be fun. I always say that. I always say it should be fun, but then I don't know if the last one was fun for...
Not for Tundra.
For Tundra, yeah. 40-4. Maybe this one won't be the same. Maybe we won't get a big slaughter, but it is another SEA team, so it should be interesting to see if they run the same kind of pace as we saw from Talon. Should be exciting.
Should be. I don't think they can match the pace of what Talon did in the previous game, and we also saw the average game time from Aurora. It's really up there. They tend to play longer games, so I think also when it comes down to the longer game, they're going to be having a slightly better draft as well, because I'm looking at these like nullifier buyers as well. You have Phantom Assassin, you have Night Stalker as well, who are going to be opting to go for that item slightly later. But yeah, I think this is going to be a longer game than what we saw in the first one, and maybe even longer than the average.
Could potentially be a longer one. We'll have to see, but we are currently paused at the moment. It's a quick pause. We're not holding you here in terms of
Let me press F9
start the game. Have you ever accidentally pressed F9 while you were in a lobby?
Not accidentally. I did it on purpose, but it didn't work at the time. I just wanted to test it out if it still works.
Yeah, I wouldn't even risk that, but I think we're getting going in just a moment, so we should be into game number 1 of this BO1. So game 1, the only game to be played in this BO1. Let's get it going. Aurora Gaming up against Gaming Gladiators. See how the bounty runes end up getting split, but they are smoked up as 5 for Aurora. A lot of faith in this Aurora draft from the chat.
I think it comes down to Night Stalker. A lot of fans, and let's check some of the facets. RP, EBB or EB, and also, what did the Void Spirit pick up? He did go for... Yeah, he did go for Sanctuary.
Shockwave on a 4 heroes. There's a disruption. Nether Blast. Q's got to be a little bit careful. First blood here for Watson. And they're going to chase for more. They've got another Nether Blast. They have the slow from the Blood Grenade. Shockwave hits 2. Ether Shock and one more right click from Ace to get a second kill. And then Ahmed hits him with the have fun.
I think they already had
a lot of fun.
Yeah, 2 bounty runes, and let's see if they can get one more. They cannot, but 2 bounty runes.
That's already 1,000 net worth.
First blood, that's pretty big.
You said, what, the 1-for-1? When does that officially start, by the way? Your 1-for-1 rule, the net worth 1K per minute.
I mean, you can't have 5K gold at 5 minutes, so starting minute 3, let's say.
Okay. So at minute 3, if it's a 3K lead,
yeah, it rarely happens. It happens if you get like, if you're playing into Visage, you lose 3-4 bounties, you feed 2-3 kills, then it can be, but the game is over anyway, so. Oh, it's going to be a lot of spam, and they're also going to be bringing some extra regen to the lane, considering that they got that first blood, and they got an extra kill.
A lot of tangos flying out on their couriers, respectively, and Q here on the Shadow Demon with the Night Stalker. Like you said, starting in the nighttime, Watson going to shift all the way down. Always scary when you're an observer and you have to see that Morphling get to 1 health and worry about whether or not he's dying or shifting. But mid lane for Ahmed and Quinn, both on a Spirit. Void Spirit against Earth Spirit. How's this matchup go?
I'll give this one slight edge to Void Spirit. I think he has an easier time. Ace,
They've
he
got
is level 2 already.
Skewer off to the right. Not back towards the creeps or anything like that. But a shockwave off the mark, stifling dagger, and a frost blast. Tofu having to be careful, but he's got a couple of charges in that wand to be a-okay. As we'll see if they go for that again with another shackle skewer combo, especially if the lane equilibrium goes back towards the dire side a little bit more.
Both side lanes, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of action, and we're going to be seeing a lot more kills. Tofu did go for Cluster Cluck, so we'll have the spell mechanic available. Could potentially save the allies against Lich, against some slow coming out from Phantom Assassin as well, so that's going to be pretty big. Jabs, he did start with a lot of stats on Night Stalker. This is the build that I want to see. You're putting the pressure. He did have no region whatsoever.
Trying to get in front of Celery early. Blood Grenade even committed to the disruption and the Void on that. Celery, he's going to have 2 stacks of the Shadow Poison, 1 more right click, but...
Not enough. He needs the third one.
3 stacks. There it is, and Q gets the kill. That was just on the edge. I don't know if that Shadow Poison really looked like it hit. But they do get that kill.
Jabs also started with Hunter in the Night rather than Void, because it's a much better option to go for with that facet, because you have that attack speed, makes your lane much easier to last hit.
Definitely making it easier for the Night Stalker. Palace here on the Phantom Assassin. We saw, not on this stream, but the other stream, the Paravision game, the Phantom Assassin getting a pretty quick Battle Fury. And then kind of spiraling out of control for Yakult to deal with. Didn't exactly see how that game finished out during our break, but it was a Phantom Assassin against a Drow Ranger, but it did look as though Paravision had that game in the bag. It's one of those heroes that PA can really get out of hand quite quickly. Q on the run again. And waveform, Watson trying to stick under the Shadow Demon. 4 stacks of Shadow Poison onto Celery. Will pop it as he gets popped, and both supports will die here, and Jabs and Watson will shake hands and say, let's just walk away from each other.
They're fine with that. I think Jabs would be happier if his support died before, because Night Stalker is very reliant on getting the XP, and also he didn't get the last hit on it. SD will TP mid, Q refilling the bottle for Abed. Not fast enough. Okay, he got it. He actually got it. That's pretty big. Let's see if he can run to the bottom lane.
And then get that one as well. We'll bring over the Pugna.
Now, you know what?
Bottle.
Well, Celery also did die, so he went back. Ace, no skewer, has TP ready. Let's see if they decide to chase. No. A bit too tanky. This also leaves Night Stalker in the top lane. Look at where lane is. This is exactly what you want to have. Him getting that solo XP.
Goes and has the silence on to Watson, who will start to shift. Also gets a deny on the range creep while leaving the lane for a second. Has to be a little bit careful. Queen almost hitting that level 6. He's about halfway to it, so is that Earth Spirit. Bottom lane, we only saw that attack once with the Shackle into the Skewer. Haven't quite gone for it again just yet. And similar to the Lich that we saw in the previous game, it is a 2-0-1, so avoiding Frost Shield overall.
He wants to be able to interrupt Magnus coming close and also Shadow Shaman, so that makes sense to get in this lane. Palos bringing in Healing Salve. They are putting some extra pressure on him right now.
There's that level 6. Aether Remnant got kicked away with the first Astral Step. Jumped in for it. Palos going to spot Celery here. Stifling Dagger throws down the Nether Ward and trying to put some damage onto this Pugna. Not going to be enough to get the kill, but now Ollie's kind of out of position. They've got the Hex, they have the Shackle. Stifling Dagger and the Skewer away from the tower with a TPing in Shadow Demon. We'll try to get some stacks here on the Shadow Poison. Might be able to pass over that Lotus, and does after he picked it up. But Palos now shackled. The 3 stacks of the Shadow Poison, and is enough to get the kill on the Ace. They'll look over at Celery. The right clicks will be enough to get a second kill. And now even looking maybe over at Tofu, but not enough mana to really continue on. It was a good move there to try and give the Lotus over and keep Ace alive, but
not enough. The reason why Paulus is attacking so fast is first of all, he has PA in his name, and second of all, he has that Arcana. So go and buy Arcana. I'm getting 20% from all purchases right now in the next 30 minutes.
Total Arcana.
Yeah. He decided to go for extra attack speed, so finishing off the power treads, which makes Phantom Assassin such a strong laner, and then we'll go back to the Battle Fury.
Yeah, back to the Battle Fury, but already has 1,000 gold, so not doing that bad at all. Third of the net worth, you see the Void Spirit at the top. Much better lane this time around for Quinn. We have seen, obviously, games prior where he struggled a little bit. And we'll get it a Obs that was on the high ground. Quinn, again, thinking about jumping over. Doesn't get in front of the roll. And maybe Tofu was thinking Hex into Shackle once more. Nothing doing at the moment, though, from this Void Spirit in terms of kills. And Ace close to level 6. We'll see if he can get there. But Q just harassing with the Shadow Poison for now.
This
Top
also
lane's
leaves,
pretty open.
yeah, Night Stalker, he is level 6.
Saying that. They smoke and they'll search. But they turn back around. The smoke is broken. The Aether Remnant, that connects. They've got the Hex, Ether Shock, and a Shackle. Frost Shield keeping him alive a little bit longer than maybe he would have liked. Sinister Gaze for a second, but Quinn, he's now going to be attacked by Palos, who's here over mid. There's 4 heroes. Dissimulate onto the low ground. Astral Step away. Jabs, though, with the silence. And jumping up is Palos. They're trying to go for this. They go to the Magnetize, but now the turnaround. Here comes Watson trying to get a kill here on a Palos. They'll get the Courier of Jabs, but that's it. Nobody dead just yet. Disruption Q, one more shot. Ether Shock gets the kill. They've got the Hex onto the Earth Spirit. Abed drops down another Remnant, but the Magnetize is now over. It looked like that was on the edge of really blowing apart for Aurora, as Gaimin were just a step away from maybe opening that up.
I just had the biggest trip because I'm like, why are supports not level 6, not even close to level 6, and it's daytime? It's because of the Night Stalker, because it turned normally, at 10 minutes, it turns into daytime. So I'm like, okay, it can really mess you up.
When you're so used to watching the clock, it can be a bit of a problem. But Tofu almost level 6. There he is. So he's got that level 6, not delayed like we saw in the previous game for some of these supports. But so far, so good for these supports, and they're going to go after Jabs. Waveform forward and an Astral Step. The Aether Remnant, the Dissimulate, and the Adaptive Strike is enough to get the kill. And, well, maybe you guys can adapt to the land environment. If you put !ticket into the chat, you can get yourself some tickets, join some other fun humans that relate on the same thing. That is Dota. Come to the Sava Center, enjoy some Tier 1 LAN in the year 2025. So get your tickets now, join us, and let's continue to watch this game. Gaming Gladiators against Aurora. 4K lead, 10 minutes into the game.
Already, yeah. They're going to need to use next Nighttime and Earth Spirit to try to get back into the game. They also need some extra levels on the supports. Lich is only level 5, so needs that extra level. Quinn is going to get the 10-minute rune. This is the big one. If they decide to take a fight, he will gladly join Paulus. Even though he joined in the previous fight, he didn't die, so that's a big dub, but also needs to be able to farm up and get that Battle Fury online. Scan just connected, so they know exactly where they're coming from, but Paulus is already in trouble.
Shockwave trying to pull him back into the range of these Serpent Wards. Has the RP. Now some of them can hit, and Ace will get the kill on a Palace. They take out that Phantom Assassin. Serpent Wards initially weren't exactly amazing, but it worked out. Q just trying to get some Obs vision down and trying to find anything they can. But Gaming Gladiators, they've got some decent stacks inside the triangle. They've done really well in the lanes. It's a 5,000 net worth lead for them. And even more stacks to be made by Celery, who can help Quinn take this quintuple stack. That wasn't even on purpose. I know what you're laughing about, but I'm pretty sure
that was a good one. So Quinn took it, even without using the rune. We'll now automatically pop it, and we'll try to look for something. And I'm also looking at the itemization. Ace going for Echo Saber, so he wants to scale as well. He thinks that if this game goes late, if Aurora somehow drags this game to post 40-50 minutes, he wants to be able to get some extra items. This is the item that allows you to farm. You also become super tanky, gives you that extra damage, you being universal hero. And there's not going to be any kind of defense in the mid lane. Celery secures the tower just in case. Jabs. This is the problem with the Night Stalker, because if you're not getting the kills, if you're not dominating your lane, getting those early kills, you are struggling, because this hero doesn't farm. And also, if it's nighttime, this is where you farm faster, but you're also showing in the lane, which means you're not putting any kind of a pressure on the map. They know exactly where you are. Palos is getting pinged.
Yeah, again, he needs to be careful. He's deep inside his own jungle, but they're not going to go any further to try and get that. You were talking about, obviously, the pressure that a Pugna could put on, taking the tier 1 tower, so we'll see how Celery continues now hitting that level 6, so has a little bit more on that save. And if you were looking for a fact, here's one for you. Almost all of Watson's stats with Game Gladiators are better than Duracio's. He gets more kills, dies less, and earns more gold, and he gains more experience. All of those stats are up, though, for you. We've got a Shackle into an RP again in the same spot. Tofu and Ace get another kill into this Palos Phantom Assassin. They're going to try and turn this and get something with Jabs coming over, has that silence, has the help of these supports. The Magnus doesn't have RP. Ahmed is here. They'll have the Shackle for a moment. There's the disruption. They get the kill to Ace. Watson blows up Ollie in a heartbeat. Adaptive strike, but not enough to get the kill to Q. They'll look over the cluster cluck, and he will cluck and walk away.
Oh, the Cripify actually saving him.
Tofu surviving for a moment, but ends up finally falling. They get the kill to Q. They'll take out Ahmed. It ends up being a 3 for 2.
They're not fight ready. Like that Chain Frost did a lot of damage, but they also did misplay a little bit because he wanted to use Disruption while Chain Frost was on him, which means that there was nothing to bounce off afterwards, and also Palos did not want to join in this fight. And this is going to be another tower. Watson, with that Vlad's, they do have enough tower damage.
Yeah, get another tier 2 tower. Yeah, Palos unable to join that fight. He had died previously, as they then took the extended fight with no RP available for the Magnus. But you don't want to die, rejoin, and die again, that's for sure, especially while you're still trying to build this Battle Fury. Harpoon is soon for Ace.
Yep, no Blink Dagger needed, apparently. So far, they've been doing good, but those 2 kills on Palos in the bottom part of the jungle did really hurt him a lot. He had a good laning stage, and this is also stacked, which means that he cannot farm it without Battle Fury.
Hope to get it soon, but won't get it soon just yet. Gets the obs, but it will cost the life of this Shadow Demon. Obs for your life? Some would say not equivalent exchange. 13 minutes.
Yeah, this is not
faster than the average.
Not the item that you rush on Magnus by any means. At least not in this bracket.
Well, some are trying to change the trends here.
You can't really blame him. Like, this is another way of you becoming very tanky and also being able to initiate. You can easily pull one of the supports out, get the skewer back. Oh man, Palos, he's really struggling. 15 minutes in, no Battle Fury yet.
Lowest net worth core. Shadow Shaman's close to overtaking Palos. Now, in the percentage world, he's about 25% of his own net worth away from overtaking the Phantom Assassin, so not that close, but when you look at the numbers, it does seem kind of close. Quinn, Astral Step, as well as the 8th Remnant with an Assimilate. They're going to Stifling Dagger this Void Spirit, but the Disruption almost feels like it was more killing of Ollie than saving. And Q is on the run. Dissimulate again, goes right into the face of Jabs. Now they've got the silence. He's under the tier 2 tower. They're going to jump in. They've got themselves the life drain to save Quinn. Palos in trouble. The Serpent Ward's replaced. The silence is there. The Magnetize comes through. They get the Kona Quinn, and now Abed's going to look for more. The roll in onto Tofu. Celery again with the life drain, but the 3 heroes affected by the Magnetize will look over at Palos. They've got the waveform over from Watson, who comes into the fight. Cluster Clock once again, but finally Tofu dies. Celery's gone. Watson going for more. Gets in front of the roll. So Ahmed with the Geomagnetic Grip gets the silence. He has some silence help here from the Night Stalker. Ace is about to die from the Magnetize. It ends up being 4 heroes down on the side of Game and Gladiators, but can Watson finish off anybody else? They've got themselves the Frost Shield, goes after Q, but now they're going to pull him in with the Sinister Gaze, shifting away, trying to survive. Chain Frost only once, waveform forward, gets the kill onto Q. Now it bounces off to an illusion. They'll try to go for jabs. Watson standing his ground. Can he win this fight? Adaptive strike, one more right click, not enough. Armlet toggling, Palace back into the fight, jumps in, gets the kill on Watson, and that is a full team wipe.
Oh, they overextend there a little bit, and also that Chain Frost making the difference, jumping off to the illusions, and Palace
back in.
Palace was thinking about farming the stack now that he just finished off the Battle Fury, but it wasn't enough. And you can see this is the fight where Jabs actually owned on the Night Stalker, had a completely free reign. He was jumping the support, so almost 6,000 damage in a single fight as a Night Stalker with one item.
Armlet toggled 23 times. That is really insane. And you want to know what's insane? You not following the channel. Get yourself !F in the chat. Follow the channel. Follow us on all socials to get behind the scenes of this LAN, the Fissure Playground, and join us on the playground if you want.
Oh man, they just stole their stacks. This stack that has been cooking, marinating for the last 15 minutes for Palos, for him to take it, now got stolen, so that's going to be big gold influx for Gaming Gladiators.
Despite the fact that they lost everybody, Gaming Gladiators still feel very ahead in this game, and they will get another kill on Ollie. The net worth lead not as big anymore. However, that was still pretty beneficial for Watson. Q making stacks on the other side of the map.
He's like, if you're going to steal our stacks, we're going to be playing on your side of the map and stack for Palos, so...
And nobody's here to check on this. They don't have wards on their own triangle either.
They're also stealing stacks on the other side of the map, which Palos didn't farm. This is the build on the Night Stalker that has been very popular.
Harpoon.
Because you have 15,
yeah,
15 talent with status resistance, and you build into S and Y, so you basically have like 50% status resistance. It's great against Shaman, it's great against Pugna, great against RP. The stuns are not going to be lasting as long.
And you know what they say about 50%? It's almost 100%, so he's basically got 100% status resistance.
It gets pretty ridiculous.
Definitely can. I mean, that's one of the reasons they got rid of all those status resistance things in the first
back
place.
in the days, S and Y plus Satanic giving status resistance. S and Y is the only item that gives status resistance right now. The reason why it seems to be like the best item in the game still, because
status resistance is strong.
It is. It gives you extra damage, extra armor, attack speed, everything.
Blink Hex, Serpent Wards committed, and the Shackle. Quinn getting the kill on Abed, and now they've got Ace, who does have this Blink Dagger. He just picked it up. Looking for a target to go after. Might be Jabs, Blink, RP, but the silence follow-up means he can't skewer away, and maybe, just maybe, Jabs could survive, but the Armlet toggle is not going to be enough. That Chain Frost bounces once over to Watson. Won't really quite feel that, and that is another kill here on a core for Gaming Gladiators. Palace
needs that BKB.
Yeah, desperately.
Is getting close to it, but not sure how much of an impact it's going to be. If they see him having a BKB, Magnus is 100% going to try to RP him in a fight, and also Quinn is getting closer to his Aghanim Scepter after finishing Manta. So that means that supports, we did say it, it's going to be who's going to be killing the supports first. So with that Aghanim Scepter on Quinn, it's going to make a lot of difference.
Phylactery, Manta, Vlad's going into the Conda here for Watson. He's happy with everything that he's got. You've got Tofu, who showed off that Blink Dagger just a moment ago, having that mobility to get into the back lines, or even initiating if they don't want the Magnus to be the first one to jump in. You have options, and now they're going to 5-man smoke, but I don't know if this is exactly the fight you want to go for. They don't have RP, though. Geomagnetic Grip on a 3. They're also going to get the silence here onto the Void Spirit. Quinn's got a run to start, but the roll back in, they've used the Magnetize. The supports here are going to be killed pretty quickly. Ollie, Celery, both dead. The roll in, but now you're in a little bit of trouble with the disruption coming out from the Shadow Team. The Cluster Clock trying to save Tofu, but Palace has a double kill. They end up losing Abed. It's a 2-for-2 right now. But do they go for more? Astral Step, they'll find Palace. The 8th Remnant connects onto this Phantom Assassin, who's forced to pop that first BKB to run away.
Yeah, this is another fight where Quinn has Rune, plus he also has Empower, so he's dishing out some insane amount of damage, plus you can throw that on Morphling, plus Vlad's, and you can see 2.5. Quinn also, but Earthspirit, he's been magnetizing 3, 4, sometimes even 5 heroes.
Yeah.
They still want to take the fight. It's nighttime. Jabs.
Gotta be careful
about going in. But that Observer Ward gave them vision to get the initial jump, and they also want to have Tormi of their own. They have really good supports to get that shard, and in the end, it's going to be Q to get it. So extra bit of a heal that he's going to throw in either his Night Stalker or in Palos. Palos did, as we've seen in the previous fight, finished off his BKB, going for SNY.
A little bit rough that he had to use it to run first.
Yeah, it feels
kind of bad.
Yeah. And now they know that with no BKB on Phantom Assassin, they have more than enough damage. Everybody's going to be full health after killing Roshan. Watson is going to pick it up. Watson having the perfect game. He's been very active joining these team fights, and he is sitting on top of the net worth by a huge margin, 15,000 on him.
8,000 net worth lead has been pretty stationary at that number around there. Ags finally finished off here for Quinn. He also picks up that level 15 talent, the extra Resonant Pulse damage. He's happy with everything
shield
that
rune
he
as
wants.
well.
Yeah.
He needs to be dispelled if they want to take him down.
Solar Crest for the Lich.
Map is really small for Aurora.
You can't go too far out without getting caught. There's a nice ward here from Gaming Gladiators in the top lane that's in the middle of the lane. That'll see you if you want to farm that extra camp, or you go out a little bit too far, maybe go to the Ancients, code over to the Triangle. It'll see you. Harpoon into a Skewer and a Silence. It never had a chance. Whew. See ya.
They glyphed immediately. They glyphed while they also used Lich Shield, so that's going to be invitation for Gaming to jump to high ground.
They'll go for Quinn, and they got the kill on the Void Spirit. So both these spirits gone very quickly. Watson's holding on to an Aegis, but maybe you would have wished you gave it over to Quinn.
Yeah, that's why I said he needs to get dispelled. He had that shield rune, thought that he's going to be invincible, maybe Pugna, but Shadow Demon ulti.
Forcing the BKB. You don't have to reinitiate, but you just use another BKB charge like that.
Still a big kill. They lost the tower, but they're getting at least something out of it.
Still 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis, so at the 3-minute mark, you'll have Quinn back. Maybe you reset, start over, and go, especially if you can go fast timings. He's up in 13 seconds. That leaves you about a minute to find Palos and get him before his BKB's back up.
They also desperately need Nullifier. Even though Shadow Demon ulti is going to do the trick, I feel like they need more of that. So I want to see what Palos decides to buy after he finishes off his SNY, and also what's the next item for Jab's going to be. I feel like they might just get 2 Nullifiers and try.
I thought. Okay, he's got
TP.
That was a long one.
All right, can we see that again? I want to see where he was actually TPing to. Because he was not TPing back to the base. He was not TPing to the fountain.
We cut the fog, and I thought we saw them both TP away for a second. Cuts back, he gets hexed, his TP stopped. Oh my gosh. Well, no Phantom Assassin now for 25 seconds. That leaves the tier 2 top vulnerable to die. Gem purchased here by this Pugna, so Celery will have that early gem. Just gonna life drain while they take the tier 3 tower. No Phantom Assassin to worry about. And this top set of racks is gonna be in a lot of trouble. They need to be very, very careful, especially coming back in. If they want to continue to put the pressure on, it's gonna force them to fight. Phantom Assassin will just have their BKB back up.
Double
but
BKB
still working with an
delivered
Aegis.
to Gaiman. 1 on Morphling, 1 on Magnus. And they're gonna be ready to try to take another fight. It's daytime, so this is where Aurora is very vulnerable.
This is a problem. No buyback available for the Phantom Assassin, short 300 gold, but everybody else on the team does have it. Palos again moving up, but that ward, if they spot that Phantom Assassin, maybe they make the shift and go over, but they're gonna leave the Phantom Assassin to do what they want. They'll go and get the dust, they'll find themselves Q, and they get the kill of the Shadow Demon, and immediately Palos has to TP back, walked up to this Ancient camp,
if they lose
all the
this
way
fight,
to TP back.
It's GG. If Aurora doesn't manage to get to... Oh my god, the damage on Palos. Watson going in.
Days, all right, Watson, he's still got an Aegis, but there's the RP with the skewer back. That's going to be under the Phantom Assassin. They get the kill to Palos as well as Ollie. Palos has buyback. Going to be forced to use it if he wants to play more, but they call GG, and Gaming Gladiators take this game over Aurora. and seemingly easy timings.
Yeah, this one was really rough. The way it started, they fed, 2 kills, and they came with extra region to the lane. They were unable to pressure, especially the top lane. I thought there was going to be slightly more pressure onto this Morphling with the Night Stalker, but yeah, they had extra items coming out from those 2 kills at the start, and Tofu, he had Paulus' number throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
He was catching him off guard in the bottom part of the map twice, shutting him down, not allowing him to get that early battle fury, even though he had a good laning stage. Like, first 7-8 minutes of the game looked very good for him.
Yeah, like you already mentioned, just those 2 kills on a Palace in the bottom lane when they were able to, of course, show that blink as well from the Shadow Shaman. You just get in there, jump, Hex, Shackle, all that control, even RP being committed to that. Once they got Palace, they weren't really too worried if like Ace lost his life once or twice because he was still farming really well despite those couple of deaths, and everything from Gaming Gladiators was really kind of moving on all cylinders.
Yeah, I also really like that Watson was joining the fights early on, and that TP to the mid lane, even though they got like a career kill and 1 kill afterwards, he was ready to join the fights with the team. And also Ace, his itemization, going for that harpoon immediately, optimizing to go for slightly more greedy build, and then picking up a blink dagger, prioritizing his own farm. A lot of the time before we were talking about Ace being the carry from the off lane, but yeah, this time around it definitely felt like he was itemizing to be the secondary or third carry, and then you had other 2 cores who were getting the extra damage from Vlads, extra damage from Empower, so the fights looked very easy for Gaimin, and also the supports were not high level enough early on to be able to punch back. You need SD to be level 6, you need Leech to be level 6 to be able to get that extra damage in.
Right, definitely, and you know, it puts Gaming Gladiators in a spot where they're going to be 1 BO3 away from going into the LAN environment, going into the playoffs, and then you've got, of course, now Aurora, who are 1 and 2, and they're 1 BO3 away from being eliminated. We take a look at the stats: 28 and 14, or 28 to 14, 9-1 and 9 here for Watson, and Quinn 8-2 and 11. So really, your cores didn't die that much. 1, 2, and 3 deaths respectively on your 3 cores. It was a lot of damage coming in from Watson, like you said, joining in early, not feeling like he was stuck to a lane to just farm. Very willing to be in there, and we've seen some really good games when cores are able to make that first move.
Yeah, the pretty much name of this game was who's going to be jumping the supports first, and it was most of the time Ace, it was Quinn in the back lines getting those kills. Then late at the later stages of the game, you had Watson, who was using his Conda and the adaptive strike pretty much to one-shot the enemies, and it was difficult.
Yep. Tofu going to be your MVP. I agree with this. I mean, I know it's so easy to give it to cores, but when you've got a support that's able to jump in there, especially when we talk about that number, the damage to net worth number, that is about 1.5 right there on the button. 1.5 damage to net worth, and he's able to have that control. He had that early blink dagger. Don't smirk at me, please. I'm giving good numbers here. He also had that blink dagger pretty early. He was able to make that jump, have that control, take out that Phantom Assassin, and did a lot of work in this game. And it's a hero that's not getting picked up as much on the Shadow Shaman either.
Yeah, this is the 3rd showing of Shadow Shaman, and he's sitting at the 66% win rate right now. Definitely not a hero that I expected, but yeah, people have been practicing new stuff, and it looked good, I gotta say. Looked good in the laning stage. I think he needs to have a good lane matchup, and he also needs to have a good laning partner that he can lane with.
Yeah, and it puts another thing into the future opponents of Gaming Gladiators' mind. You know, maybe the Shadow Shaman comes out if he's comfortable with that. It does offer a lot. I like the Hex with the Shackle combination, especially if you've got the follow-up lockdown, something, say, like the Magnus. It's a good hero. It pushes well. Both supports on the Gaming Gladiators lineup pushed really well as well. So Gaming Gladiators, they're 2 and 1. That puts Aurora to 1 and 2. When we come back, it's going to be the BO3's time. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. We'll see you in a bit.